getting harder and harder to defend that signing, isn't it?
Yeah, it hasn't worked out. I don't think you can say anything other than it hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. You know, whenever you spend money on anybody, there's always an element of a gamble in it.
But you think the first 18 months you were telling me, no, but look, he's got all the attributes there.
Well, he does. And he has.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
But again, having all these attributes and then being able to produce it consistently are two different things. And some can and some can't. And Darwin Nunez, unfortunately, has had plenty of opportunity over the last, 2.5 years to show what he's capable of doing consistently. And he's, up until now, shown that he's not capable of doing it consistently. And so I really don't see how there's a way back for him as a starting number 9.
Really? Unless he leaves the club.
Listen, when you come for 80 million and then, 2.5 years later, you're playing second fiddle to a guy who's a left winger and who's not a centre forward, then that tells you something.
Yeah, it's interesting, Nedum, when we've talked about him in the past, obviously you've talked about how tough he is to defend, how he's a handful, but that just hasn't materialised into this class of striker that you need to be at Liverpool.
No, not at all. I think when you think about Liverpool, you think about some of their goal scorers, you know, and you see some of the impact they can have within games. And obviously Salah is the big shining light when it comes down to the amount of goals that they score. But look at the way that they perceive Jota. When he comes on the pitch, he's one of the best finishers they've had in recent years. You're seeing like an informed Gakpo at the minute. You're seeing times where Luis Diaz is playing through the middle and you can sense the end product's going to be there. Whereas with Darwin Nunez, you know, the effort and all that stuff is there. But like we're talking about a team trying to win a Premier League title, like effort shouldn't necessarily be your strongest asset in any particular moment because you want the quality to be there as well. You need the quality to be there because as the season progresses, the margin of error becomes smaller and smaller, doesn't it? Like, do you feel more confident seeing a Darwin Nunez start versus Diogo Jota? Probably not. And it's not to say that he's not a good player, but as those stats have shown, you know, 4 goals, 3 assists in 24 games, you know, those are the numbers you expect to see from maybe a midfielder. You know, maybe it's someone like a Curtis Jones, for example, not somebody who's potentially leading the line. And yes, he's not always started games of football, but when you have seen him start, has he done enough to justify his place in the team? Unfortunately for him, not really. And as a consequence, as the season progresses, we'll probably end up seeing him less and less as slight push starts to come to shove.
Has it surprised you, Mario?
No, I just think that the way they play him also, it also gives the answer to all the questions and all the answers we've been giving, is that the way they use him. They use him in a moment when they have to, let's create something else than what we already have tried. And he is rarely the starting point what they want. They want, if you want war or some fight going on, you put him in. Football should not be like that. I don't think Nunez came to Liverpool and said like, oh, I'm only the guy that's going to cause a fuss when we have a problem. No, he wants to be a top striker and score goals. But now they see that, hey, he's not delivering the quality what you guys already highlighted. He's not producing that. So that's why he has to wait his chance. And the chance is starting to get smaller and smaller because if you saw the numbers now, the numbers of goals are getting really less and less and less. So probably the confidence started to eat as well at him.